start your engines!
Michigan! We are back at Michigan for our 23rd race of the season, coming off a really good finish at Watkins Glen despite some incidents and some contact, but we managed to sneak away with the top 10, which I'm very happy about, at a track that we're not very good at. But we're starting off good here. We're starting up in P4 with one of our better qualifying runs of the season. We're usually not great at qualifying, but we've had a couple decent runs and thankfully got a decent starting spot here. Though I don't feel like my car is super great, especially short run. We'll see how it goes though. But as usual, we have 3 viewer drivers with us today. Starting back in 13th is the number 70 of Jason Sebald. Starting again at Michigan with us. I think it's his home track, so good luck to him. And just in the row behind him, the number 64 of Ian White. Also starting with us again at Michigan. And then further on back, the number 47 of Joshua Eschy starting with us. We haven't seen him in a long time in this series, so good luck to him as well. Hopefully we all have a good race. So I'm not feeling super great in my car. I've got good track position to start with, but it's very tight, especially through the center, but it's not that stable.
Get ready now.
So I don't know exactly how much speed we're going to have, especially on the short run. And once we get in starting in traffic here, I don't know how much we're going to be able to do. But we'll see. Hopefully we just keep the track position.
Green, green, green.
Good start. And let's try and get into a groove here. We got 100 laps. We're going to be stuck on the outside here to start with, which is pretty tricky. There's not a lot of grip up here. We just lost a ton of momentum.
Still there. Clear.
Don't want to slam the door too fast on Ward. I didn't know how quickly we'd have been able to get to the bottom, so we're just going to lose a couple spots here to start with. That's all right. It's a long race, plenty of time to make things up. We got some dirt flying up in the air up here. I don't know if somebody maybe blew up or something. I did not want to be 3 wide. That's not good to hear. Okay, we survived. Jason Sebald snuck by us. Try and get to the bottom and roll around, do some laps. Somebody definitely has blown up down there. Who is that? Jimmy Spencer. So he's not going to have a good finish. Let's just throw it down in here. Try not to clip the apron. Can't quite clear him. They're better on the top line than I am here. I'm just not. I don't have enough grip. The car's too tight. Sebald looking to get around Kevin Harvick there. And Ward just flew underneath us. I'm gonna use my run on the top side, try and get around. Get underneath Sebald here.
Keep low. Clear.
We make that pass. Alright, kind of just going back and forth right now. See if we can make up some spots. Last Michigan race, I thought we were going to do good. This is one of my better tracks, but we just kept getting caught up in accidents and then never could make anything back up. I thought it was going to be like California and just go green the whole way, and we'd been able to work our way to the front and stay there, but we had a couple cautions. Hopefully this one goes fairly green. Harvick looking to get around Dale Jr. there. Just can't get the run out of the corner that I need, I think. It's too tight through the center, but it's not stable enough. But we're alright. Long way to go. We're just logging laps at this point. Try to get us to the pit stop, which I think will be around halfway. Should probably double check that. Yeah, it's gonna be about halfway. That'll be fine. We will do that when we come to it. I did practice pitting. It's not a super difficult pit road to get onto. Just need to make sure we slow down in time, get onto the apron. If we have to do a green flag pit stop, we may get some cautions, I don't know. Looks like we're starting to catch up to Harvick a bit. And Junior. Kenseth and Stewart and Gordon up there kind of pulling away from all of us. You be nice and careful. Take it nice and easy. It is a long race. But not the longest we've done. It's only 200 miles doing 100 laps around here. Half distance of the real life 400 mile race. But it is a lot of work doing laps around here, so it can feel longer. Seaball just got a huge run. Nearly got to our inside, but it kind of died out there. We had a better run with our higher exit. He's caught the back of this front group with a little gap behind him to Newman. We're all just kind of hanging out here. Trying not to get the car too crazy into the corner. It's really tight, but if I am too aggressive on braking or throttle, it can snap loose on me. It's not stable. Like that, almost got loose. That's gonna hurt my exit. Had to wait. Otherwise it was going to break loose on me. Harvick again trying to get around Junior.
Car outside.
We're going to take advantage of that. Just slide up in front of him. We get a decent run there. That's going to move us up to 5th, I think. Harvick gets a better exit than we do. We'll draft with him down the front stretch. I'm getting a good run here, though. I'm going to look to his inside.
Outside. You're in 5th. Good job. Still there. Keep low. Clear.
Looking pretty good so far. Back up to 4th. Harvick and Junior must have had a bad exit. They're too wide and they're back behind us by a couple tenths. Feeling pretty fast right now. Hopefully we can keep it up. See if we can catch these front 3. We're up back to where we qualified. Definitely feel the tires have given out a little bit. It's not quite as easy to get it into the corner and get the bottom. Hopefully long run will be alright. It may end up just getting tighter and tighter. We might want to add some tape, but that might make it really tricky on cold tires. Let's see, what's the water temp at? It's like 210. Oil temp's at 220. We'll probably add 5% and be alright on temps, but handling wise, what is that going to do for us? Is that going to make it really loose to where we can't hang on to it? I don't know. It's out of the corner that scares me. I feel like if it gets too loose out of the corner, I'm going to have a very hard time not wrecking. It's really hard to catch a spin and even see when you're starting to get sideways. We got a little gap to Harvick now, and he's got a big gap behind him to Newman. Junior's falling back to 8th, it looks like. Stewart's caught the back of Kenseth. Is he going to be challenging for the lead here in a minute? I don't know. Gordon's not that far behind either. We're kind of losing touch with him a bit. Lap traffic has popped up on the box. We'll probably be getting to that sometime soon. That was a bad push on exit. Keep using the draft to try and stay with this pack down the straightaways here. Okay, we caught back up a little bit there. That's good. They're able to exit the corner so much lower than me just because I'm just way too tight. Or I have to slow down too much to the center. So maybe adding tape will work. We might try that. We'll see how this starts to feel long run. If we're still moving forward and able to keep up with these guys, I don't know if I want to change much. But I don't think we're going to win leaving it like this. Handling's just not quite good enough. So maybe we try it just to see if we can gain these 3 spots. Might be worth it. Stewart was looking to get around Kenseth there, but couldn't get it done, and now he and Gordon are side by side, and that's letting Kenseth get out ahead a little bit. He gets us right to their bumper. Now Harvick's caught up with us, and he's got a huge gap behind him now, like 2.5 seconds to Johnson. Alright. Still looking good, hanging up here in the top 5. Very happy with how we're running so far. Still thinking about whether I want to add tape or not. It's really, really tight, and adding tape is going to loosen it up a bit, but is that going to loosen it up too much? We're going to look to the inside on Gordon here.
Still there.
I don't know if we're going to be able to make this pass. Oh, it's so tight on the bottom now. Could not get the run underneath him. Yeah, we might look at adding some tape, I think. It might be worth it. See lap traffic coming up, Kevin LePage. Hopefully we can all get by him without him wrecking the field. Like he did at Talladega. Typical. Over 3 seconds to Johnson and Junior. They must be racing back and forth a lot and just losing time racing side by side. I feel like Junior's got a good enough car to be up here. He was up here for a little bit, but then just kind of got shuffled and just kept falling back, I guess. The further we can stretch out that gap, though, the better, especially when we get to doing green flag pit stops. Let's see, we're coming around to complete lap 23. We can do about, oh yeah, we can take this to halfway easily. That'll be good then. We'll probably just plan on that. I don't want to stay out here too long on old tires. But it's not a huge pit window, so it's not going to be too bad either way. We pit early or late. Might pit at lap like 49, 48 or 49. Maybe we plan on that. Pit like 2 laps early, add a bit of tape.
We're gonna add some tape.
See how that works out for us. Gordon looking to make the pass on Stewart. It's going to slow them down on exit. I'm going to get a big run. Probably get to the outside of Gordon. I don't know if I want to.
Car inside. Still there.
We're going to be so tight.
Bye.
We're just not quite as good on the outside as they are.
Stay high. You're now in third.
Looks like we're going to make the pass though.
Clear.
Alright, I did not expect to be able to do that. I'll take that. And we clip the apron. Shoves the nose up again. It's going to get Gordon right back to our inside.
Stay high. Keep high. Clear inside. Inside. Keep high.
Maybe we can clear him again. We got to get single file or we're just going to lose touch with these leaders. Not much I can do.
Clear.
Alright, we got the draft. We were able to clear them again. Let's not screw up in 1 and 2 this time. Really tight on entry now. Alright. Couple lap cars coming up. Looks like Larry Foyt up ahead of LePage. Almost 5 seconds to Jimmy Johnson now. Crazy. I hope we can get around LePage without any problems. Lap traffic always dangerous. They don't get out of the way like they would in real life. Real tight on entry there. Tires are going away. We still got 20 laps till the pit stop. Just about. Hopefully we can get on and off pit road without too much trouble either. He's going to slow Kenseth down a bit, and Stewart. Oh, he's going to pull down in front of Stewart, and that's going to slow him down. But he gets an exit. We should be able to sneak underneath him behind Stewart into turn 3 here.
outside. Keep low.
Hopefully we can clear him. We will.
Clear outside.
Alright, that wasn't too bad. It's going to slow Gordon up a bit. We're going to get a huge run on Stewart, but not quite quick enough to be able to throw it in. Decent run through 1 and 2. I'm going to look to his inside.
Outside. Stay low.
Oh, just massive push on the bottom. I had to wait to get on throttle. He's probably going to clear us back on the outside.
Still there.
Holding even with us. He's got the draft, but we're getting a little bit better run.
The next car's the leader.
And we clear him into turn 1. Up to P2. Looking pretty good. Long run. We're coming alive. Hopefully adding that tape doesn't hurt us too bad. Hopefully it improves us. I don't know though. Almost don't want to make changes just because we're up in second. I don't want to risk the handling getting worse.
Okay, you're in second.
I think it'll be alright though. Let's try it. It's just a tiny change. Should be alright. Larry Foyt up ahead of Kenseth now. Is Kenseth going to be able to get around him easily? Looks like he is. Hopefully we can get there before turn 1 so he doesn't pull down in front of us or something. Okay, we should get there.
Car outside. The next car's the
It's going to
leader.
hurt our entry a little bit though.
Clear outside.
But it hurt Kenseth just a bit too. We're almost there. Kenseth just so strong though. He gets a huge run through the center of the corner. But we got his draft. Next lap cars are pretty far out ahead. He's just able to get on throttle a little bit quicker than me. Just don't quite have the speed and the turn in the middle of the corner. Try to get a little loose on me there. Johnson almost 6.5 seconds back now. They just fell off the main pack and haven't been able to catch back up. Really tight right there behind him, taking the air off the front end. Stewart's right back behind me. And Gordon and Harvick are right there as well. Kind of missed the bottom that time. I don't think we're quicker than Stewart. I think we just took advantage of him getting slowed up by the lap car and caught on the outside. It's very tight.
Inside.
Stewart got a good run there, but is he going to have
Clear inside.
an exit? Not really. They have to use up some momentum turning down out of the corner to get underneath me. That it kills their straightaway speed. Laps, what are we at? 37. Hitting about 11 or 12 laps. I think if we pit early, like a lap early, 2 laps early, we'll have a couple laps where we gain some time on new tires compared to the field. Maybe that puts us out ahead of Kenseth. Maybe that leapfrogs us. I don't know. It'll all depend on if it stays green. And when he pits, he might pit same lap that we do, which would throw a wrench in our plan. It is so tight. I think the tape's going to help. It's going to be tricky short run, but it's going to help when we get to this point in the run for the next time. See if we can use some pit strategy to get around Kenseth, because I don't think we're going to have the speed to do it on track. I nearly push out and get the wall. Harvick's kind of fallen off of this group a little bit. Not too bad though. He gets a huge run on my inside.
Still there. Still there.
He might be too wide entering turn 1. It'd be very scary.
Stay high. The next car's the leader.
He gets really tight through the center 1 and 2 though. That allows us to get clear of him again. Alright, that's not bad. We can catch back up to Kenseth a little bit. I think Stewart's faster than us. We're just harder to pass on the bottom there. I think everyone's struggling with tightness right now. Can't get it to turn underneath somebody in the corner. Getting closer to the pit stop. I think we'll pit in about 8 laps. Lap 49 coming to 50. I think we'll pit just a lap earlier than halfway. It's not going to make a huge difference and probably won't do much for us, but we'll see how it plays out. Do need a windshield tear off though, that's for sure. Eight seconds back to Johnson. Good grief. Figured he'd be one of the guys way up here competing for the win. Maybe he will be before this one's over, but right now he is pretty far out of it. We've just pulled away and stayed away. Pulled further away. Well, that's the apron. That's going to hurt us. Stewart might pass us now. But we're going to get draft off of Kenseth here down the straightaway. Big group of lap cars coming up right before the pit stop. Might make this dangerous. I wonder if we can time it where we pit right before we catch them and not have to deal with the traffic. Is that going to work? Maybe. We got like 5 laps. They're 10 seconds ahead. Might be able to time this pretty good. Just entering turn 3 now, up ahead of us. We're in good shape though, we're in good position. Only thing I'm worried about is the handling changing a little bit too much with the tape. We just got to be careful with that, and we're going to be on new tires, which is going to make it even looser, so hopefully we're not around too many other cars to make traffic a problem. Just going to make handling that much less room for error, if that makes sense. Harvick has gotten by Gordon. Just now, so Harvick just got by Stewart as well. I think they're side by side, actually. What are we looking at? Lap 46. Let's pit on lap 49 and see if we can leapfrog Kenseth at all. I don't know what lap he's going to pit on. Hopefully not before us. Because if we have to slow down... Well, we're not going to know when he's pitting. Hopefully he doesn't just check up right in front of us when we have no warning, which they like to do. Whoa, Stewart and Gordon and Harvick fell way back there. Were they fighting for position, I guess? Must have been. We've caught the back end of Harvick, or Kenseth again. Huge line of lap cars. We should not catch them before green flag pit stops, so I'm not too worried about it. If we had to go through them and then pit right in the middle of that group, that would have been very dangerous. Maybe we'll pit and Kenseth will stay out a little bit longer and he'll get trapped up in there, maybe. Doubtful. I think we're all going to pit before we catch them. But if he got slowed down before his pit stop, that would be very good for us. No turn out of the corner. Alright, we're pitting next time by. Hopefully we can have a decent pit stop. And get on pit road decently. Because it's going to be tricky. We're going to lose some time probably getting on pit road. I'm not going to be very quick. Yeah, we're pitting this time, spotter. Pitting this time. Nobody run me over. Getting into the corner, hopefully. Take 4 tires and fuel. We're going to put some tape on it. We shouldn't be in too much traffic. I think we'll be good. Let's get on pit road nice and good. Don't wash up too much if I can help it.
Outside.
Alright, we slowed down way
Clear outside.
too early there.
Keep it under 55. Keep it
Whoa,
under
okay.
4,000 in seconds.
Alright, woo! We made it. That was scary. The grass came up a little bit quicker than I was expecting. We slid the tire a bit, but we're changing them, so that's not a big deal at all. Just making sure I don't get close to speeding. Looks like we are the first ones on pit road, which is good. Hopefully no caution now. And hopefully we don't come out in traffic. I don't think we will.
Go, go, go! Keep it under 55. Keep it under 4,000 in seconds. Okay, you're clear of pit lane. The leader's pitting now.
Alright, we got on pit road 1 lap before they did. Oh no. Harvick and Stewart and Gordon are still out there, but Kenseth, he didn't waste any time, so we're not going to gain too much on him, if anything. But we kind of expected that. But we might pull out further ahead of them. Newman coming up behind us. We were miles ahead of them. They didn't even pass us here. Those guys. Alright. Car feels good now. We gotta be careful on that tape. And new tires. Those guys are just now pitting.
There's the cross flag. We're halfway home.
Let's see where this shakes out. Newman still hasn't pit yet. Gotta remember how to drive a car that has turn in it. More turn than we had previously. There's Kenseth. He has a better entry onto pit road than us, and he's able to pull out a little bit ahead, but we might be able to close that down. here in a second. Alright, car feels good. Car feels good. Should cycle back to right where we were in second place. But we're going to have a pretty big gap on Stewart and Harvick and Gordon, I think, because they waited an extra lap. Kenseth saw us pitting and went ahead and pit, so he didn't lose much. In fact, he gained some because he was better on the pit road than we were. So that was a good play by him. I think that's why he's in the championship lead right now. Hopefully that's not too much tape. It's just 5% extra, just one click. I think it's fine.
You're now in the top 20. The leader's pitting now.
We do get a caution now. We at least won't be a lap down. We're actually catching Kenseth pretty good here. Maybe the tape really helped us. But once we get up behind him in dirty air, it might get tougher. But yeah, we leapfrogged Stewart and Harvick and Gordon there pretty good. They're like 3 seconds back. They stayed out
Back and forth now.
an extra lap, which really hurt them because they were on old tires for longer. Now we're P4, but we're going to be P2 again here shortly as everything cycles through. Now we got lap traffic coming out. We got to be careful here. Kenseth stuck up on the outside, but he clears them. I'm going to go to the inside on Fittipaldi.
Outside. The next car
Now we got to be careful.
Stay low. You're
Lots
back
of
in
traffic.
second. Clear outside.
Oh yeah, car feels really good. Tape, I think, helped a lot. Just need to not step it over the edge. Don't quite get to the inside on green. Should get there before turn 1 though. Kenseth's getting slowed up by rains a bit.
That car's a lap down. Outside. Stay low. Clear outside. Car outside.
He tried to shut the door, but thankfully we got there.
Clear outside.
A little bit loose off the corner, but we're alright. This is sketchy. This is sketchy. But we are right behind Kenseth. Hopefully we can stay here. Maybe find a place to pass him, though I just don't think we're quick enough still. Just not quite. Oh, I got really tight through the center there again. He's going to look to get around Casey Mears here. That's going to hurt his entry a bit. Oh, he doesn't get to his inside. That's going to slow him down. Well, it doesn't hurt him that much, really. 4 seconds back to Stewart. I don't think they're going to make that up. I think all those guys are just going to be too far back and not going to have enough draft to get back to us. If we were able to stay ahead of them, I think they were a bit faster, but not that much faster. I think we'll be able to hold on to this big gap.
Outside. Stay low. The next car's the leader. Clear.
Get clear of Mears. Kenseth just so strong through the corner. Pulls back out ahead. Got Steve Park coming up. Try to get back into a rhythm. Only got 42 to go. think the pits cycle has finished. Everyone should be able to make it to the end. Let's make sure we can. Oh man, we're actually a little bit closer than I want to be, but I think we're alright. About 2 laps to the good almost. And our fuel mileage should get better as the tires fall off and we get slower. We're on throttle pretty heavily throughout the whole lap right now since we got so much grip, but as we start to not be able to turn, we'll have to let off the gas more, and that's going to save fuel. Good thing I didn't pit on lap 48 though. We might have been right on the number to make it. I don't know if we would have been able to.
Keep it up, keep digging. The next car is the leader.
I know the next car is the leader. Got LePage coming up again as Park got past him. I'm just not able to close back in on Kenseth at all, really. Just when he gets slowed down by lap traffic is when we got closest to him. I don't think we're going to be beating him unless it's another Pocono situation where he has to make an emergency pit stop, but he's looking pretty strong here.
That car's a lap down.
Get underneath LePage.
The next car is the leader. Clear.
Okay. Should be able to get by Steve Park as well.
Car outside. The next car is the leader. Still there.
Well, I thought we would be able to.
Keep
But
low.
we were not able to clear him.
Stay low. Clear.
Now we're good. Alright. Be nice and easy. Use as much draft as we can use. See what we can do. He's just better through the corners than we are, I think. I'm still pretty tight. Ian White and Jason Sebald have fallen back to 15th and 16th. Sebald was up here in the top 10 for a bit at the beginning. More lap traffic pretty far ahead though. Car's still pretty tight, but I think it would be tighter at this point if we had not put that tape on. I think the tape did help. But maybe didn't help enough to be able to get by Kenseth. He just looks very fast. We're keeping up with him. Maybe we can sneak around him if he gets slowed down by a lap car, but I don't know if that's going to happen. He's been getting through the lap cars pretty well. I'm just so tight out to turn 4. He gets pretty far away from us down the front stretch. Take another look at fuel once we get to the back stretch here. Just to make sure. We're like right where we want to be. 33 or 35 to go. 36 laps on fuel. Oh man, it's tight. I'm not taking care of the tires, that's for sure. But we're going with it now. He's just so much better than 3 and 4. I'm a little bit better than him, I think, in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, he just pulls out way far ahead. You can get on throttle quicker and stop it from sliding out too far. If I try and get on throttle as quick as he does, I just push out to the wall. Well, that's the apron. That doesn't hurt. That doesn't help things. 6 seconds back to Stewart, so they just... Once you get a gap and they don't have the draft anymore, it's very hard for them to catch back up. Let's see how far Johnson and them are, if we can. Newman, 13.7 back. Junior's 13.3. What happened to Harvick? I don't see him there. He was in the top 5. I don't know. Got some lap traffic up here racing 2 wide. We've kind of fallen off of Kenseth the last lap or so. Fuel, we're still okay, I think. Yeah.
We'll give you just a splash of fuel.
I think we're alright. We're not pitting. We're just kind of dealing with it now. But that's close. About as close as we were at Pocono when we got that win. We have a good enough lead right now on 3rd place that if we run out of turn 4, we should be able to make it to the line before they can get here. Maybe. I mean, that's pretty far. I don't know. I think we're alright. I don't think we're going to run out. We're just having a good solid run here, and hopefully we can close this thing out. And maybe if anything happens, we could take advantage and sneak one again. But right now, it's not looking super likely. He's just a little bit better than us. It's kind of what he's been all season. Coming up after this race is Bristol again for the night race. Hopefully that goes a little bit better than the day race. It was a caution fest the first time we went there. We'll see if we get any better racing. Yeah, Kent is pulling away. We might get slowed down a bit here, which would help. But I don't think there's going to be anything we can do. We got Ricky Craven, Elliott Sadler, and Joe Nemechek coming up as the next cars to get lapped. All green race so far. We get a caution that could make things interesting. I don't think we'll be able to hang on to 2nd. If we get a caution, we're just not that good on the short run. Kens is pulling away from us now. I don't think we're in draft range anymore. We tried it. I tried to put some tape on it to make it better. I tried to leapfrog him on pit road, but he was able to pit just after us and not lose much at all. He actually gained. Just being able to get on pit road better than we did. But he's pulling pretty far out ahead now. We just need to be nice and smooth. Don't throw this away. We got a really good finish right here in 2nd. gets slowed down a little bit by lap traffic, but, well, not much really. We haven't gained anything on him. He might right here, though. He's able to cut through him pretty quickly. Best car out here, though, is dominating this thing. I think Kenseth is just the class of the field, as he has been numerous times this season. There's a huge clump of cars here right now. They're all trying to get around Larry Foyt, who's multiple laps down. Hopefully we can get through all these guys without too much trouble. Kenseth just got through them all. Hopefully get to the inside on Foyt before turn 1. That's going to be close. We should be alright.
Outside. Clear outside.
Did not want to have to wait behind him through the corner. That would have really hurt us. Not that we have much to gain by throwing crazy moves like that. We got a huge gap on the people behind us. I don't think we're going to catch Kenseth, so just need to be careful. We don't need to make any crazy moves. 24 laps to go. Coming to get 23 to go.
That car's a lap down.
I'm just going to have to wait here. I don't want to risk anything. No reason to go 3 wide. We just got to be patient, work our way through these guys, not risk wrecking ourselves. That's the last thing we need to do. Whoa, don't run into him though. That'll wreck us. That was sketchy. We're losing a lot of time here.
That car's a lap down.
Well, not much. He's only 1.1 ahead of us. I do want to get by them though, so we can get back to single file. We should be able to clear Elliott Sadler here. He got tight on the bottom. Maybe throw it in on Nemechek.
Car outside.
Keep it from getting too loose.
Clear outside.
But he's just, they're able to get more turn on the outside there.
That car's a lap
We
down.
got a big run here.
Outside.
Might be able to sneak underneath Craven as well.
Still there.
Alright, got clear of them. Kenseth is only 1.2 ahead. It's about where he was when he first got to the traffic, so I think we're alright there. We can settle back in and get this thing to the finish. Coming to get 20 to go, I think. Yep.
20 laps to go.
20 to go. Closing in. Hopefully this goes caution free. I think if we get a restart, we'll be in trouble on the short run. I don't think we're quite as good. I may add some more tape and put some wedge in it to make it tighter, because more tape's going to loosen it. But it should still make us quicker. We'll see though. Been a quick race though, only one pit stop needed and no caution, so about as quick as you can have a race done. 7.7 back to Stewart, Kenseth 1.5. Not too shabby. We're still good on fuel, right? Yeah, okay. Didn't want to be all of a sudden like 2 laps short or something. That'd have been bad. We're totally fine. Only way we're getting past Kenseth is if he has another Pocono situation where he has to pit for some reason. Or he has a tire go down or an engine blow or something. I don't think he's going to get caught up in lap traffic enough for us to get back to him. We were back behind him really close for a little while and just never could get a good enough run to make any move. And then he just started pulling away. He's just been better this whole race. But no pressure behind us, just lap car, and we're pulling away from them. Next car for position's very far away. That's what happens when you get green flag racing, you get spread out. Get spread out and the fastest cars move further away. Just need no caution to happen. Really don't want to see a caution. I don't think we're going to be good. I think we might lose positions if we get a restart. Like we did at the beginning, falling back. Don't need to see anything out there. Just everybody be nice and calm. Some more lap cars coming out ahead, but they're pretty spread out. I don't think Kenseth's going to get held up too much. Even when they were grouped up in the little pack, he didn't have much trouble. Nice and smooth. He's almost 2 seconds ahead now, but we're almost 8 seconds ahead of Stewart, and Dale Jarrett is pitting from 27th. Maybe he had a tire going down or just didn't put enough fuel in it or something, but he's pretty far out of it right now anyway. Almost 10 to go, right? Well, a few laps. These laps take forever around here. Double check fuel. We're fine. I know we're fine, but I gotta keep looking to make sure. We're like right on the edge. That's how you want it to be. Kenseth just got around Kenny Wallace. Just pulling further and further away from us. Nothing we can do about it. I'm trying to go quick, but I'm just not quick enough. Alright. He's going to start cutting through the lap traffic. Probably won't lose too much time. We got to just be careful around him.
Just 10 more to go.
Just got the 10 to go. At least, if there is a caution, the lap cars will just get sent to the back and won't have to start on the inside to mess things up for us up front. But I still don't think I'm going to be quick enough to stay ahead of some of those guys behind us once they get caught back up to us. Junior's back up to 4th, but 10 seconds back. What happened to Harvick? He's in 31st, a lap down. I wonder if he got a speeding penalty or something on pit road. That's crazy.
That car's a lap down.
Very interesting. He was having a good run. Maybe he had a tire issue or something. Maybe he had to pit again for fuel. I don't know. Very interesting though. Should be able to get around Kenny Wallace here.
Car outside. Still there. Clear.
Get that done easily. Kenseth 2.6 out ahead. He just got by Dale Jarrett and LePage again. Didn't get slowed down much. We're not going to gain it unless something crazy happens, like he has to pit. We just got to take care of our car, get it home. Don't do that. Massive push and put it in the wall. That was a little tiny tap. But let's not do that again. 'Cause that was not very good. Got plenty of room to work with. We have to slow down more in the corners because the car is getting tighter. That's fine. No reason to push anything. We're not catching Kenseth. Just gotta be careful. We lost a second there when we pushed up and got the wall a bit. There's LePage again. Coming around to get the 5 to go.
Just 5 more to go.
There is wind out there too that could be playing a factor with
Clear
just
outside.
random pushes we're getting out of the corner. Could be pushing the nose up. But everybody is dealing with that equally, at least. Kenseth just got back around Dale Jarrett after Dale Jarrett had to pit for some reason. We just have a couple laps left. Get it around here and bring it home. And there's a big push again. Somebody just blew up. Ricky Rudd, please no caution for debris or something. He's off the track. No cautions. Well, if we got a caution now, it might just end the race. We're so close to the end. But I don't want to have to pace if I don't have to. That'll just take longer. Coming around to get the 2 to go. Kenseth way out front. It's his race to lose. I don't think he's going to be losing it. He's looking like he's got this one in the bag.
Just 2 to go.
Kenseth will be taking the white flag in just a second. We're going to be taking the white flag. They're way far back behind us. I think Junior got by Stewart. I just noticed, yeah. Junior came way back, made up a bunch of time there at the end of that run. Matt Kenseth is going to get around and take the win. We're going to hopefully get it out to turn 4 here. Come around and get a nice solid second place. I cannot be angry about that. That is a very good run for us. Much better than the first Michigan race we did. Definitely was Kenseth's race. He deserved to win that one. He was much quicker than everybody. I just fell off and could never catch back up. But once we got out of the draft, pretty much sealed the deal for us. I'm just going to pull off right here. Good race. I will take a second. Really weird that Harvick fell off and ended up 30th. He must have had to pit again for something. Where were we on fuel? We had 2 laps. Ooh, that was good. That was a good race. Kenseth just completely outclassed us. He gets the win. That's his number of wins he's had this year. Only 24 people stayed on the lead lap. We come away with second. Very happy with that. Jason Sebald ends up 14th. That's a pretty good run for him. Ian White in 17th and Joshua Esche 20th. So everyone finished pretty decently. Ricky Rudd blew up there right at the end, and we didn't really ever have anything happen, so he falls back to 41st. Todd Bodine was out of the race earlier, and Jimmy Spencer right at the beginning fell out of the race. So yeah, second place. I can be happy with that. That is another good run for us to back up our Watkins Glen run and to make up for the Indianapolis wreck that we got into. And much better than the first Michigan race. Hopefully we'll go to Bristol and do a little bit better than we did last time and have a little bit better of a race too. But that was good. Good race. Thanks for watching.